Have you ever wondered why, no matter how hard you try, it sometimes feels like your dreams are always just out of reach? You set the goals. You repeat the affirmations. You even try to visualize. And yet, life keeps giving you more of the same. It's frustrating, right? Here's the thing nobody talks about. The problem isn't your effort, your belief, or your worthiness. The problem is how you've been taught to breathe. Yes, breathe. The most natural, automatic thing in the world, the thing you've been doing since the moment you were born, might be the very reason you feel stuck down now. That probably sounds strange. After all, how could something as simple as breathing make the difference between struggling and thriving? But stay with me. By the end of this chapter, you'll see why breath is not just about keeping you alive. It's the switch that tells your mind and body whether you are still chasing what you want, or whether you are already living it. Most of us breathe in what I call chasing mode. Think about what happens when you're stressed or anxious. Your breath becomes short, shallow, and fast. It's like your body is saying, something's missing. I've got to run after it. Now here's the hidden mistake. We carry this same pattern into our dreams and desires. We breathe as though the things we want are still out there somewhere, far away. Every inhale feels like a grab. Every exhale like a push. And what does our nervous system do? It takes the hint. It wires in the state of wanting instead of the state of having. And so, even while you're visualizing the perfect partner, the dream house, or the financial freedom, your body is still whispering, not yet, not mine, not here. It's like driving with one foot on the gas and one foot on the brake. No matter how much you floor it, you're not going to move forward smoothly. Breath is more than oxygen. Breath is a signal. Every inhale and exhale is a message to your brain and your body about what state you are in. Shallow breathing. Your body hears, danger is near, prepare to survive. Rapid breathing. Your body hears, chase mode, keep reaching, keep grasping. Deep, smooth, steady breathing. Your body hears, I am safe. I already have enough. I can relax into this moment. Here's the wild part. Your body doesn't need proof from the outside world to believe these messages. It doesn't wait for the money in the bank or the love of your life to show up before it changes its chemistry. It changes immediately based on the way you breathe. This means your breath can lock you into separation, or it can dissolve that separation and let you feel like your desires are already here. Imagine you are running late for an important meeting. Your chest feels tight, your breaths come fast and shallow, and your thoughts are racing. I can't be late. This is bad. What will they think? In that state, your whole body is locked into chasing. You're chasing time itself. Now imagine a different scene. You're lying on a hammock, somewhere quiet, breathing slowly and deeply. Each exhale feels like a soft release. Your shoulders are loose, your jaw unclenched. Even if nothing in your outer world has changed, your inner state has shifted completely. Your body believes it already has safety, space, and freedom. See the difference? It's the same you, just two different breathing patterns. One keeps you chasing, the other allows you to live as though what you need is already here. Here's where it gets real. Your dreams don't respond to how badly you want them. They respond to the state you practice living in. If your breath tells your body and mind that you're still lacking, then every thought and action you take will be flavored by that lack. You'll speak differently. You'll notice opportunities less. You'll hesitate where you could have acted boldly. But if your breath tells your body and mind, I already live as the person who has this, then your entire system reorganizes around that truth. Your posture shifts, your voice steadies, your choices align. You start behaving like the person who already is what they used to chase. And when you do that consistently, your outer world has no choice but to catch up. So here's the hidden mistake that almost everyone makes. They breathe for their desires instead of breathing as their desires. Breathing for your desires means every inhale is a reach, every exhale a push, as if you're trying to pull something toward you. Breathing as your desires means every inhale and exhale is a recognition. I already am the kind of person who lives in this reality. That tiny shift changes everything. Because now, instead of your body sending mixed signals, I want this, but I don't have it, your body starts broadcasting one clear frequency. I am living it now. I once worked with someone who had tried almost every manifestation practice under the sun. She visualized, she wrote affirmations, she even made vision boards stacked up like wallpaper, but nothing ever seemed to stick. When I asked her to notice how she breathed while she was manifesting, she realized her breaths were quick and tight, like she was begging the universe to deliver. She was practicing desperation, not embodiment. The moment she shifted just by slowing her breath, lengthening her exhale, and holding a calm recognition, her whole energy changed. She said it felt like she had been running on a treadmill for years, and suddenly someone hit the stop button. She wasn't chasing anymore. She was walking calmly in the life she wanted. And soon after, the opportunities she had been straining for finally started to appear naturally. This chapter is about seeing the trap. Most people stay stuck because they never even notice it. They keep repeating the same breathing patterns of lack and wonder why they're still waiting. But now you know the secret. Breath is not just survival, it's a signal. The way you breathe tells your whole being whether you are still a seeker or whether you are someone who is already living what you desire. In the next chapter, we'll go deeper into why breath works this way. I'll show you how your body and mind are wired to respond instantly to shifts in breath, and why learning to breathe differently can open the door to the life you've been reaching for now. Just sit with this truth. If you've been chasing, it's not because you're doing something wrong. It's because nobody ever showed you that even the smallest thing, your breath, can flip the switch. And the moment you learn how to use it, you'll realize you never needed to chase in the first place. You just needed to remember how to breathe like the person you already are. In the last chapter, we uncovered the hidden mistake. Most of us breathe in a way that keeps us stuck in chasing mode. We breathe for our desires instead of as our desires. It sounds small, but it's a huge shift. Now let's go deeper. Why does breath have this much power? Why does something so ordinary, something we do without thinking, end up shaping how we experience life, how we move toward goals, even how we see ourselves? The answer lies in how breath is wired into the most ancient parts of your nervous system. And once you understand this, you'll see why breath is the master switch you can flip at any moment to change the state you're in. Think about it. Breathing is both automatic and voluntary. Your heart beats whether you think about it or not. Your digestion works without your control. But breath is special. It belongs to both worlds. You can forget about it and it'll keep you alive, but you can also take it over and guide it. That makes it a doorway. On one side, breath listens to your emotions. When you're nervous, your breath speeds up. When you're calm, your breath slows down. But on the other side, breath can actually talk back to your emotions. You can choose to slow your breath, and suddenly your nervous system gets the memo. We're safe now. It's like a two-way radio between body and mind. Here's the part most people miss. Your body doesn't wait for evidence to decide what's true. It listens to the signals you send. And breath is the loudest, clearest signal you've got. If your breath says, rush, push, chase, then every cell in your body will believe that story. Your muscles will tighten, your vision will narrow, your thoughts will speed up. You'll be wired for grasping and reaching, even if you're just sitting at your desk imagining your dream life. But if your breath says steady, full, relaxed, then your body believes that story. Muscles soften, awareness widens, choices feel clearer. And suddenly you're not a person begging reality to change, you're a person already living from the change. Let's bring this to life with a simple example. Picture two people walking into a room full of strangers. The first person is breathing short and tight. Their shoulders are lifted, their chest barely moving. Even before they say a word, people around them can sense it. This person feels tense, uncertain, maybe even a little desperate. The second person walks in, breathing slow and easy. Their chest rises fully. Their exhale is long and soft. Without even speaking, they radiate presence, steadiness, confidence. Which person are you drawn to? Which one feels like they already belong? That's the power of breath. It's not just air, it's communication. It's the way you broadcast who you are and what state you live in, both to yourself and to everyone else. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but how does this connect to my dreams, to the things I'm trying to create in my life? Here's how. Every time you think about your desire, whether it's love, health, abundance, or success, your breath tags along. It stamps the desire with a state. If your breath is tight and hurried, your desire gets stamped with the feeling of not yet, not enough. But if your breath is deep and calm, your desire gets stamped with the feeling of already here, already mine. That is why so many manifestation practices feel exhausting. People try so hard to picture what they want, to imagine it in vivid detail, to force themselves to feel it. But if the breath underneath all that is still whispering chase, 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 then the body never believes the story. The nervous system keeps playing the old program. When you shift the breath, you shift the program. And suddenly all the affirmations, all the visualizations, all the goals have a foundation they can stand on. Another way to think of it, breath is the rhythm of your reality. Fast breath, fast thoughts, fast doubts. Slow breath, steady thoughts, steady choices. You can't build a peaceful, fulfilled life on a restless rhythm. The music won't match. That's why ancient traditions, yoga, meditation, martial arts all put so much attention on breathing. Long before modern science, they noticed that changing the breath changes the person. And modern research is catching up. Studies show that extending your exhale signals the vagus nerve, which calms the body. Other studies show that steady breathing can actually balance brain waves, shifting you into clearer focus. But you don't need research papers to feel it. Try it right now. Take one deep breath in through your nose. Hold it for a moment. Now let it out slowly, longer than the inhale. Notice the difference. You just gave your body a new message. You just flipped the switch. Here's the key. Breath is not just a background process. It's the foundation of your state. And your state is the foundation of your results. If you've ever said to yourself, "I'll believe it when I see it," breath invites you to flip that around. I'll see it when I breathe it, because the way you breathe is the way you embody, and the way you embody shapes the world you create. So why does breath matter? Because it's the bridge between the unseen and the seen, between thought and action, between the person you've been and the person you're becoming. Without changing your breath, change feels like struggle. With breath on your side, change feels natural. In the next chapter, we'll explore the illusion that keeps most people from using this power. The illusion of separation, the belief that you and your desires are two different things, far apart, that need to be connected. I'll show you why that's not true, and how understanding this one shift makes the breathing practice even more powerful. But before we go there, just hold on to this. Every breath you take is either a rehearsal for lack or a rehearsal for fulfillment. You get to choose which story your body practices. And once you practice the right story, reality has a funny way of following your lead. Up to now, we've uncovered two truths. First, most people breathe in a way that keeps them chasing. Second, breath is more than oxygen, it's the master signal that tells your body whether you are living in lack or living in fulfillment. But there's still one deeper trap to uncover. It's the illusion that sits underneath almost every struggle, every feeling of frustration, every "why can't I get there" moment. And that is the illusion of separation. We've been taught to see ourselves and our desires as two different things. On one side is your current life, your daily reality. On the other side are your dreams, love, abundance, health, freedom, whatever it may be. The story goes like this. You are here, your desires are over there, and your job is to close the gap. Sounds normal, right? That's what almost every motivational book, every goal-setting workshop, every vision board exercise is built on. Step 1. Admit what you don't have. Step 2. Figure out how to get it. Step 3. Work, hope, and hustle until the two finally meet. But here's the problem. That story is backwards. Because the moment you believe your desire is separate from you, you've already locked yourself into chasing mode. You've made your dream into something outside, something distant, something that requires effort and strain to reach. Think about the wave and the ocean. A single wave might say, "I'm just a little bump on the surface, and what I really want is to become part of the ocean." But the older, wiser wave would smile and say, "You've never been separate. You've always been the ocean. You're just experiencing yourself in a different shape." That's us. Our desires are not out there waiting to be hunted down. They are part of the same field of consciousness we already belong to. The longing you feel isn't proof of absence. It's proof of recognition. It's life within you noticing a shape it's ready to take. Here's another way to see it. Imagine you're looking at a mirror. When you smile, the reflection smiles instantly. When you frown, it frowns. There's no gap between you and the image. They're not two separate beings, they're one system. In the same way, your desires are like reflections. They move with you, they shift with you. But if you think the reflection is a stranger in the glass, you'll keep trying to reach for it, not realizing it's already tied to you. So why does this illusion of separation feel so convincing? Because we've been conditioned from childhood to measure reality in terms of here and there, me and not me, have and have. Not, it's baked into how we speak and think. But the moment you accept that story as absolute truth, you reinforce the very struggle you're trying to escape. Every breath becomes a reach. Every thought becomes a reminder of what's missing. Every action is flavored by trying to close the gap. And here's the paradox. The harder you try, the stronger the illusion gets. It's like quicksand. The more you fight, the deeper you sink. So how do we break the illusion? Not by working harder, not by forcing belief, but by recognition, by remembering that separation is a trick of perception, not the truth. When you breathe as if you already are the one who has what you want, you stop playing the game of over here and over there. Your breath becomes a bridge that dissolves the illusion. Each inhale says, I notice what I am. Each exhale says, I live it now. And slowly, the mind learns what the body has always known. There was never a gap to close. Let me give you a real-world picture. A man I once coached told me he desperately wanted confidence. He said he could see confident people across the room at networking events, and he felt like they had something he didn't. They were over there, he was over here. So we worked with his breath. Instead of breathing shallow and tight like someone who lacks confidence, I had him breathe slowly, like someone who already moves through the world with ease. After a few minutes, his shoulders dropped, his voice steadied, and when he spoke, people listened differently. What happened? He stopped treating confidence as something outside himself. He stopped breathing like a man chasing. He began breathing like a man who already was. And just like that, the illusion dissolved. Confidence wasn't hiding across the room, was waiting in the rhythm of his own breath. This is what I want you to remember. Every desire you have is not a gap, it's a mirror. Wanting abundance. That's abundance, noticing itself through you. Wanting love. That's love stirring within you, asking to be recognized. Wanting health. That's wholeness reminding you of its presence. Your desire is not proof of separation. It's proof of connection. It's life calling itself by name. And this is where the breathing practice becomes so powerful. Because when you shift your breath, you're not trying to attract something from out there. You're simply allowing yourself to recognize what's already entangled with you, already part of you. It's like adjusting the focus on a camera. The image was always there, but until you turned the lens, it looked blurry and far away. Breath is the lens. Shift it, and clarity appears. The illusion of separation will try to pull you back again and again. You'll catch yourself thinking, I don't have it yet, or it's still missing. That's normal. The mind has practiced that story for years. But now you know the truth. Separation is only a perception. Breath is how you remind yourself what's real. So, whenever you notice yourself slipping into chasing mode, pause and ask, am I breathing as if I'm separate from my desire, or as if I'm already it? That single question can bring you back. In the next chapter, we'll finally step into the practice itself. I'll show you exactly how to use your breath to dissolve the illusion and experience yourself as already whole, already complete, already living what you've been chasing. But before we get there, just let this idea settle in. Your dreams aren't out there somewhere, waiting to be caught. They are here, reflected in you, moving with you like the wave in the ocean, like the face and the mirror. The only thing standing between you and them is the story of separation. And once you breathe past that story, you'll realize you were never separate to begin with. We've talked about the hidden mistake. We've seen why breath matters. We've uncovered the illusion of separation. Now it's time to give you the actual practice, the way to breathe that flips everything. I call it observer breath, and the reason is simple. When you use it, you stop being the one who chases, and you become the one who notices. You step into the awareness of already being. You stop straining, and you start observing yourself as the fulfilled version of you. Let me walk you through it slowly. First, find a place where you can sit comfortably. You don't need incense. You don't need a yoga mat. You don't need silence. You just need a body and a little bit of space. If you're watching this video on your phone, that's fine. Just sit up tall for a moment and get ready to try. Now here's the rhythm. It's a simple pattern. Inhale for 4, pause for 2, exhale for 6. Think of it as 4 to 6. That's all. Nothing complicated, nothing mystical. Just a rhythm that tells your body, I'm already here. Here's how it works. On the inhale, for the count of 4, you breathe in through your nose. And as you do, you silently say to yourself, I notice. This is the observer part. You're not forcing anything. You're not pretending. You're just noticing the breath, your body, the space you're in. Then you pause for 2 counts. And in that pause, silently say, already mine, not as a demand, not as a wish, but as a recognition, as if you're simply acknowledging what's already present. And then you exhale for 6 counts, long and smooth, through your nose or mouth. And as the air leaves, you say quietly inside yourself, I live it now. That's the entire pattern. Inhale for I notice. Pause to already mine. Exhale 6. I live it now. When you first try this, it may feel strange. You might even think, I don't feel anything. That's okay. This isn't about forcing feelings. This isn't about hyping yourself up or creating some big emotional surge. This is about recognition. Think of it like standing in front of a mirror. The mirror doesn't strain to reflect you. It doesn't have to try. It just reflects. In the same way, observe a breath doesn't make you become someone new. It simply lets you reflect what you already are. Let me tell you a quick story. A woman I taught this to had spent years trying to manifest love. She did affirmations every morning. She pictured her perfect partner in detail. But deep down, she felt lonely, and her body knew it. Every breath carried that loneliness. When she started observer breath, she was skeptical. She said, this can't possibly make a difference. But after a week, she noticed something subtle. She felt more at ease in her own company. She wasn't grasping anymore. She wasn't waiting for someone to fill a gap. She said it was like realizing she already had companionship, her own presence. Not long after, she met someone. But the real change wasn't that someone appeared, it was that she stopped breathing as loneliness and started breathing as wholeness. The outside just caught up. That's what makes observer breath different from almost every other technique. Most methods tell you to breathe for what you want. To inhale as if you're pulling abundance in. To exhale as if you're pushing negativity out. But that still reinforces the old story. I don't have it yet. I need to pull it in. I need to get rid of what blocks me. It's chasing mode with fancier clothes. Observer breath flips that script. You don't breathe to get. You breathe to be. You breathe as the person who already knows. That one shift rewires the signal your body is broadcasting. Let's practice one round. Together right now. Sit up a little taller. Drop your shoulders. Unclench your jaw. Good. Now inhale for 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Silently say, I notice. Pause for 2. 1, 2. Say, already mine. Now exhale for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Say, I live it now. That's it. You just did observe a breath. Do this cycle 9 times, and you've already shifted your nervous system into a different story. The key here is not to force. You don't need to prove to yourself that you feel abundant or healthy or loved. You don't need to act out a big drama. You just need to keep breathing in this rhythm with those 3 simple phrases. The state will come naturally, because here's the truth. Your body has always known how to feel safe, how to feel whole, how to feel enough. It just forgot, buried under years of chasing. Observe a breath doesn't instill something new. It helps you remember what was already yours. Another little tip: pair the breath with a physical anchor, something tiny and repeatable. For example, gently touch your thumb and index finger together during the pause, or soften your shoulders each time you exhale. That way, your body builds a shortcut. Later, even when you're busy, you can trigger the same recognition with just that gesture. So let's recap the steps. Nice and clear, sit tall, relaxed. Inhale for 4 counts. Silently, I notice. Pause for 2 counts. Silently, already mine. Exhale for 6 counts. Silently, I live it now. Repeat 9 times. That's it. No props, no complex rituals. Just you and your breath, practicing the reality of already being. In the next chapter, we'll do a full guided demo together. I'll count with you, minute by minute, so you can feel the shift in real time. Because once you experience it, even for 60 seconds, you'll understand why this isn't just another technique. It's a doorway back to what you've always been. But for now, take this with you. Every inhale, every pause, every exhale is a chance to stop chasing and start recognizing. The only thing between you and the life you want is the story of separation. Observe a breath is how you breathe past that story. And once you do, the game changes forever. Alright, now it's time to practice together. You've heard the idea. You've understood the rhythm. But the only way to really know what observe a breath can do is to experience it in your own body. So let's do 1 minute together, right now. Sit tall, wherever you are. Let your shoulders soften. Unclench your jaw. If your feet are on the floor, notice the ground supporting you. If you're lying down, just feel the weight of your body sinking into the surface. Good. Now gently close your eyes if you can, or soften your gaze. We'll use the 4 to 6 rhythm. I'll count for you so you can relax and follow. Ready? Here we go. First round. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Silently say, I notice. Pause, 1, 2, already mine. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I live it now. Second round. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. I notice. Pause, 1, 2, already mine. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I live it now. Third round. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. I notice. Pause, 1, 2, already mine. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I live it now. Keep going in this rhythm at your own pace. Inhale gently, pause lightly, exhale slowly. With each breath, you're not reaching. You're not forcing. You're just recognizing. On the inhale, notice. On the pause, already mine. On the exhale, live it now. Let yourself sink into the pattern for a few more cycles. and now slowly return. Let your breath come back to normal. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Gently open your eyes if they were closed. Notice how you feel. Maybe your shoulders dropped. Maybe your mind feels quieter. Maybe nothing feels dramatic. And that's perfectly fine. What matters is that you just practice breathing, not as a seeker, but as someone who already is. This is the heart of observer breath. Simple, steady, repeatable. In the next chapter, I'll show you how to take this beyond practice, because it's one thing to breathe this way for a minute on a video, but the real magic happens when you carry it into daily life before a decision, in a stressful moment, or even while brushing your teeth. That's where it rewires everything. So you've tried observer breath. You've felt what it's like to shift your state in just a minute or two. But here's the question that really matters. How do you take this off the cushion and into real life? Because breathing once a day is powerful. Yes, but the real magic happens when observer breath becomes part of your ordinary moments. Think about it. Life doesn't challenge you during meditation. Life challenges you when the bill lands in your inbox, when you're waiting for someone's reply, when you're standing in line, late for work, and your chest is already tight. That's when you need the practice most. So, in this chapter, I want to show you how to weave observer breath into the fabric of your day. Not as a chore, not as a ritual you need to carve out a special time for, but as something you can drop into instantly, wherever you are. Let's start with the morning. How you breathe in the first few minutes after waking sets the tone for everything that follows. Most people grab their phone, scroll, and their breath is already shallow before they've even left bed. The body enters chasing mode before the day even begins. What if, instead, you sat on the edge of your bed and did 3 rounds of observer breath? Just 3. Inhale for 4, pause for 2, exhale for 6. I notice, already mine. I live it now. Less than 2 minutes. That's enough to send your body the signal. Today, I'm living from fullness, not lack. It's a tiny shift, but it shapes how you move through everything that comes after. Now, let's look at stress moments. Imagine you're about to open a tough email, or walk into a difficult conversation, or check your bank account when you're worried about money. Your old habit would be to hold your breath or let it turn shallow. Your shoulders rise, your chest locks up. That's the exact moment observer breath belongs. You don't need 9 rounds here. Even 1 cycle is enough. 1 inhale, 1 pause, 1 exhale, with those 3 phrases inside your mind. Suddenly, your body stops preparing to chase or defend. It remembers, already mine, I live it now, and you walk into that moment differently. Your words shift, your choices shift, even your facial expression softens. Other people pick up on that. It changes the entire interaction. There's also the power of decision. Think about the last time you made a rushed choice. You were probably breathing quick, shallow breaths without noticing. That rhythm narrows your focus. It makes you grab at the closest option, instead of seeing the bigger picture. What happens if you do 3 cycles of observer breath before making a choice? You by yourself, clarity. You widen your awareness. You give your body the message, I am safe. I already live as the person who knows what to do. And from that place, your decision is steadier, cleaner, more aligned. Here's a story from someone who tried this. He was a designer, and every time he pitched an idea, he felt small in the room. He said, I always feel like they're the experts and I'm just trying to prove myself. So before each pitch, he started doing 3 cycles of observer breath in the bathroom. Inhale, I notice. Pause, already mine. Exhale, I live it now. After a week, he told me something flipped. I didn't feel like I was begging them to approve my work anymore. I felt like I was already the kind of designer who belongs at the table. And, funny enough, my pitches started landing. That's the difference between living as a seeker and living as an observer. The outer results didn't change first. His breath changed first, and the results followed. Another way to anchor observer breath is with tiny cues. For example, every time you touch a doorknob, take 1 cycle. Every time you see a red light while driving, take 1 cycle. Every time you sip from your coffee mug, take 1 cycle. These little anchors stitch the practice into your day without effort. Before long, it becomes second nature. And here's the beauty. You don't need to wait until you feel calm to do it. In fact, the best time to use observer breath is exactly when you don't feel calm. When your mind is racing, when you're anxious, when you're doubting yourself. That's when the practice has the most power. Remember, observer breath isn't about manufacturing emotions. You don't need to force gratitude or joy. You don't need to pretend. It's about recognition. Each breath is a reminder. I already am. I already live it now. Over time, this recognition starts to leak into every corner of your life. You stop walking into rooms like someone who's trying to prove they belong. You stop approaching your goals like someone scrambling to catch up. Instead, you carry yourself like someone who already is. And people feel that. Opportunities feel that. Life responds to that. Now, I want to give you a simple structure to try this week. In the morning, 3 cycles before you touch your phone, before 1 decision each day. 3 cycles in 1 stressful moment. At least 1 cycle. That's it. 3 times. Morning, choice, stress. If you stick with that for 7 days, you'll notice a shift. Maybe subtle at first, but real. So let's circle back. Up to now, we've exposed the hidden mistake, explored why breath matters, and revealed the illusion of separation. We've learned the observer breath, rhythm, and now we've woven it into daily life. What does this mean? It means you're no longer practicing once and forgetting. You're building a new baseline. Each time you choose observer breath, you're rewiring your nervous system to live as the fulfilled version of you. And little by little, that state becomes your default in the next chapter. We'll talk about the pitfalls, what people usually get wrong with this practice, and how you can avoid falling into those traps. Because the difference between treating this like a formula and treating it like recognition is everything. Get that right, and the practice becomes effortless. But for now, just remember, you don't need to carve out hours. You don't need to change your life overnight. You just need to breathe differently in the moments that matter most. Because how you breathe in those moments is how you live your entire story. You've now learned the hidden mistake. You've seen why breath matters. You've uncovered the illusion of separation. You've practiced observer breath, and you've explored how to use it in your everyday life. So the only question left is, will you try it for real? Will you give yourself 7 days to discover what happens when you stop breathing as a seeker and start breathing as the one who already is? I want to invite you into a simple experiment, a 7-day challenge. Nothing overwhelming, nothing complicated. Just 7 days of choosing observer breath in 3 key moments. First thing in the morning, before you touch your phone, at least once before making a decision, at least once when stress shows up. That's it. 3 touch points each day, 2 or 3 minutes total. Anyone can do this. Here's what tends to happen when people take this seriously. By day 2, you start to notice small shifts, like your shoulders drop faster or your thoughts don't spiral as quickly. By day 4, your choices start to feel different. You hesitate less, or you speak with a little more steadiness. And by day 7, something deeper has clicked. You realize you're not working so hard to get there. You're living from already here. It might feel subtle, like wearing sunglasses indoors and then taking them off. The room was always bright. You just couldn't see it. Or it might feel obvious, like finally taking a deep drink of water after being thirsty for too long. Either way, the recognition arrives. Now, I want to remind you of something important. This isn't about forcing results. Don't go into the 7-day challenge thinking, by day 7, I must manifest X. That will only drag you back into chasing mode. The real challenge is not about controlling outcomes. It's about changing the signal you send to yourself. It's about rewiring your body from I want to, I live as. And when that shift takes root, the outcomes take care of themselves. So here's how I'd like you to do it. Every morning, before you pick up your phone, sit tall and breathe 9 cycles of observer breath. Just 9. Less than 3 minutes, sometime during the day, before you make a choice, whether it's a small one like what to eat, or a big one like which project to commit to. Pause for 3 cycles. Remind yourself, I notice, already mine. I live it now. And when stress shows up, when your heart races, when your chest tightens, when you feel like reaching for your old patterns, drop into 1 cycle. Just 1, even in public, even in a crowd. Nobody needs to know, but you'll know. That's the challenge. Simple, steady, powerful. By the end of 7 days, you'll have built a new rhythm into your life. And that rhythm matters more than motivation, more than willpower, more than effort. Because motivation fades, willpower runs out, effort exhausts you, but rhythm carries you without trying. That's why breath is the key. Breath is rhythm. Observer breath sets that rhythm to recognition, not separation. To already, not someday. And here's my request, share your breakthrough. When you notice something, shift your posture, your voice, the way people respond to you. Come back and tell me. Leave a comment. Write it down. Because when you name your recognition, it anchors deeper. And you never know who else will hear your story and decide to try for themselves. As we close this series of chapters, let's come back to the essence. You've never been separate from what you seek. The chasing, the grasping, the waiting that was the illusion. All along, your desires were mirrors, reflecting what was already inside you. Now you have the tool to dissolve that illusion at will. A simple breath. Inhale, I notice. Pause, already mine. Exhale, I live it now. Carry this with you. Practice it for 7 days. Let it become your rhythm. And watch as life reorganizes itself. Not because you chased harder, but because you finally remembered what you are. So here's the challenge. 7 days, 1 breath that changes everything. Are you in?